I'm giddy, I'm excited, I'm ready for some urban legends.
Flesh-eating bugs.
What?
There's one that goes into the eye as well.
Oh, that's a shame.
A woman was sitting on the subway late one night, and she noticed that a woman sitting...
Was it a foot long or a 6 inch? Sorry.
Oh my god.
Banter boy's back. Also does raise questions over America where an old sweet lady can get a handgun out and go, get out, get out. If you're going to do a murder, at least have your driver's license, surely. Do you know what I mean? If you're going to go through all of that effort. Oh, what do we do with the body now, Dave? Put it in the transit. All right, you drive. Oh, I can't drive, can you? No, I thought you could fucking drive. I am going to pick holes in your story.
No, that's absolutely fine.
Because if you sit here and start telling me about there's a man with a hook for a hand that jumps on cars and eats frogs and calls the Bloody Mary on a Tuesday, then I'm entitled to take the piss out of that.
I agree. I'll allow it.
All right?
But sometimes, shut the fuck up and give me a chance to talk.
Hello, guys, and welcome back to Jack Mate's Happy Hour. Now, you don't like when I stutter.
It's not that I don't like it. It just seems like your cogs are turning and you've forgotten what you're on.
Sometimes for some reason I just wonder if I'm supposed to be saying Jack Mate's Happy Hour or Jack Mate's Happy Half Hour. But then I realise I'm not with Robbie right now.
Yeah.
Which makes me sad. I'm always sad when I'm not with Robbie.
All right, that doesn't sound good for me, but...
We should introduce our friend.
Hello.
How are you?
Hello. I'm glad that I'm your friend. That's very nice.
You're my best friend in the whole wide world.
Aw.
You're my fiancé. You're my life partner.
This episode's going really well for me.
You can't call me your best friend when Stevie's sitting right there and Alfie's listening.
Yeah, at least pretend.
I can't be bothered anymore.
That's fair. Yeah, no, to be fair, we don't take it as badly, so you can lie to her face.
I've had
Yeah. Wait,
years of
what?
pretending that I like you. All right?
All right.
Years of experience
Yeah.
pretending.
How are you, all right?
Really good. How are you?
Good. Is it weird to be in the hot seat? Usually you're sat outside there.
I know this is very, very strange for me. I'm usually behind the scenes, but now I'm in front of the scenes.
You've been on load. I think this is your 4th time on.
I think so.
And you've done an Urban Legends with us before,
I
haven't
know.
you?
I love them so much.
Yeah, I love them. These are some of my favourite episodes.
I say you hadn't actually announced that we're doing Urban Legends.
We're doing another one. Yeah, so as you know, throughout the year and a half that we've done this show, Stevie, from time to time, maybe usually once every few months, comes in equipped with a whole array of urban legends. We've heard the story of Bloody Mary.
We have.
We've heard the story of one of my favourite stories, one of my favourite urban legends, Slender Man.
Yeah.
We had the boy with a hook for a hand, or the man with a hook for a hand.
And we've also had possibly two of the most well-known moments from Happy Hour with, have you seen my baby?
Have you seen my baby? You was on that one.
That was
You were.
iconic.
Can you give us a have you seen my baby?
Have you seen my baby?
It's the accent.
Yeah, it always goes like EastEnders extra.
And then Get Safe as well.
Get safe.
So-
yeah.
Ooh, can I also say another iconic Happy Hour moment happened when it was an Urban Legends, when we were recording in the studio and we heard a noise.
The noise outside.
That was on the same one. Legend of Stowe Lake.
Yeah, so
Lady of Stowe Lake.
I do worry a bit that this one's now going to let the team down.
That's all right. We just need to find the energy.
Okay.
All right. And
do this.
some during lockdown, we had a lot of chat about how we were going to redo Happy Hour and what we were going to come back with and what ideas we were going to bring. We've rejigged a bit of like the hostage like situation. I can't tell, but you know what I mean. One idea we came up with, which would be a series probably for my main channel rather than Happy Hour, but Happy Hour related, is to actually one day go to America, if a brand will take us, and visit all of these places. So one of the clips that did really well on this YouTube channel, or on the Happy Hour YouTube channel, was the Tale of the Bunnyman Bridge.
Yes.
That was scary, a spooky one, and that done really well. So imagine if we went all the way to like Ohio or wherever it was. Do you remember where it was?
Was that Virginia?
Maybe.
There was that, and then Stowe Lake, obviously San Francisco, I believe that was.
Imagine
So,
going and visiting all of these kind of places where the urbans were birthed.
Someone randomly sent me a link to a load of urban legends over the lockdown. Can't even remember who it was.
Doing your
but I
work for
saved
you.
it.
Fuck you know.
But they sent me a link to an urban legend from every state in America.
Oh, wow.
So I've got like
So cool.
51 or whatever there is.
Who the fuck
52
was that?
states.
Give him a bloody job.
Well, I'd still have to do all the research. I've just got the name of one from each state. So I haven't looked into them yet because I want to make sure they're good enough.
So I could, for example, say, right, okay, this was the episode done, and then go next episode. I want Alaska. I want,
Yes, so
California.
there was an Alaska one on there.
Yeah, well, it's a state, so I should hope so, because you said they've done every one.
Yeah, that was shut up.
What's California?
I haven't done them yet. I can have a quick look if you'd like to. I can give you the name of it.
Right, because I've been there a few times, and I guess many people would say that when I go to California, I'm the legend.
I want to be sick.
Well, I'm giddy. I'm excited. I'm ready for some urban legends. The people on the subreddit r/Jack made a little bit of shameless promotion there. Often make memes about me interrupting your stories, and people say, "Be bigger, be better, be a better version of you." I'm not. Sorry,
this is the best.
yeah. I have peaked. I peaked in 2017, and I've been downhill ever since. So I am going to pick holes in your story.
No, that's absolutely fine.
Because if you sit here and start telling me about there's a man with a hook for a hand that jumps on cars and eats frogs and calls Bloody Mary on a Tuesday, then I'm entitled to take the piss out of that.
I agree. I'll allow it.
All right.
But sometimes shut the fuck up and give me a chance to talk.
Okay, fair enough.
So should we start on the Shadow Man? It wasn't
do
first
it.
on my
Yeah.
list, but
Let's do this.
we've gone into it.
Is this number
so
4? How many of these episodes have we done?
This is episode 3.
Yeah.
Technically 4 because we filmed 2 in one day, but then the second one never got released.
Okay.
So
Well,
technically 3.
Are you going to say that forever? So if you're on like episode 91, but technically 92.
So
Right.
3. Urban
Okay.
Legends 3.
This is Jack, Fiona, and Stevie, and this is Urban Legends 3. Take it away, Stevie.
The Shadow Man. Nobody knows for sure who or what the Shadow Man is, but it may be the ghost of a man who was convicted of stalking and kidnapping children. He was caught at a home he had broken into a few days before.
Yeah, already it's not scary because when they nick kids, I'm all right. Do you know what I mean? I know I'm going to be
You're
all
okay
right.
with
Oh.
Yeah. It's like nonsense.
Take a kid, fuck
Yeah,
off.
yeah. Like, I'm not going to make horrible jokes, so I won't.
So he was caught at a home he had broken into a few days before and was being dragged off to the gallows after his trial when he overpowered the guards and ran into the woods.
So gallows are like what you put your head in to be chopped.
No, that's
gallows is
being
when-
hung.
Gallows is being hung.
Yeah, you get
Yeah,
hung
yeah.
at the gallows.
You're thinking of like the guillotine.
No, you put your heads in it. Oh, all right, maybe.
Yeah,
That's the
you're thinking of the
stocks.
guillotine with the head getting chopped off.
Right. Oh, so he's going there, is he? This guy.
He's going to the gallows, which is where you get hung. So it's obviously quite old.
So they've caught him.
They caught him. He was caught at a home he had broken into a few days before.
It's going to be a long episode. Right. Got yeah. I'll shut up.
And he was being dragged off to the gallows to be hung after his trial. It didn't say that. I've added it so you know that it's not a guillotine. When he
The Gallows are a band. Maybe he was just going to go see them. Just off to see the Gallows.
He overpowered the guards and ran into the woods. A huge search was organised and the entire forest was thoroughly searched, but he was never found. A few years later, children started going missing again, and some people thought that it must be him. Their suspicions were put to rest, however, after one of the missing children came back. The 5-year-old boy was questioned, and during a police interview, he revealed that he was captured by a shadow man with big red eyes and a funny hat. Since then, there has been many more reports of this shadow man. The shadow is described as being a shadow of a tall man with a bowler hat or a fedora and glowing red eyes. He can assume almost any form he chooses and slip through any door.
You lost me there. You lost me.
It's not realistic.
No,
now.
yeah, I needed when it was a man that was like, he's like a bit mysterious. He could
Tall
hide in the
man.
shadows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's realistic and scary.
Sorry, is a shadow tall man with a bowler hat or a fedora and glowing eyes. He will plague children. I skipped that sentence. Now it's real again. He can't go through doors. There we go.
What?
I'm skipping the sentence. Pretend it didn't.
You've got to tell me as it says
Edit it
there.
out,
Word for
Katie.
word.
You've got to tell me exactly what it says. I need to build up a picture. As soon as somebody can shapeshift, I'm out.
You
Yeah, but
lost me.
this is just what a 5-year-old boy said. So don't worry.
Oh, right, so he could be a little waffler.
Yeah, of course he
Oh,
is.
all right.
He will plague children with nightmares about a strange man in a bowler's hat grabbing them and taking them away to an old hut. After a few days, he will creep into the child's room and stare at them with his glowing red eyes until they wake up. The child will then be petrified with fear, and that is when the Shadow Man will whisk them off and the child will never be seen again. The scariest part is that he could be anywhere at any time, and you could never be sure if he's there watching you.
What about when you see him watching you? Is this
That's
like?
when he catches you. So you're.
Oh, so it's
So
like.
you don't know he's there until you do know he's there.
Well,
If you know he's there, you're gone.
Well, that's the same with anyone. I don't know you're there until I know you're there. Like, if you come upstairs to give me a cup of tea and I'm in bed, I'm like, well, she's not here. And then you open the door and
But
I
I
see you
also-
and
I
I go,
also-
now she's here. I don't run away
No.
going, oh, the shadow woman's brought me a cup of tea.
But I also don't snatch you.
Yeah, but
Out
also
of
you'd
bed and
you'd
whisk
hear her
you
come up the
away.
stairs. Like he can just.
He's silent.
He's silent and apparently can shapeshift.
And I need to show you this because it cracked me
Is
up.
that a picture of him?
It's a picture.
Oh.
It's hilarious.
Go on. What? That looks like the Babadook.
It looks like an Oreo.
It's like that. Oh. Do you know, it's just a
So
face.
his mouth looks exactly like an Oreo.
It, it does actually. Oh. Like that shadow man is definitely making that noise. There is no way that face makes a scary. Like he goes, I'm gonna snatch you. That's what he sounds like.
That's not scary to me
No.
at all. That could be like a mascot for like a child's new biscuit or something,
Yeah.
you know. It's
Yeah.
not scary.
And them eyes aren't red; they're lovely, piercing blue eyes.
Yeah.
The inaccuracy.
I didn't search for this photo. It was just with the story, so I found that quite strange.
So
but
the
I-
story physically literally
It says
says,
glowing red,
red
eyes.
eyes.
Now we've got a photo with white eyes. Make
Yeah.
your mind up.
actually they're blue. They're like a lovely light blue.
Oh, sorry, I was too busy looking at his Oreo mouth.
So that's the story of the Shadow Man. I will say there's many stories around this type of character, which it sounded like the California one was, like a shadowy.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like this has been done before.
Character.
It's nothing new.
Okay, so are we doing the voting, or are we just
Yeah,
gonna go
we-
through
we'll
on this?
rate
I like voting because it's such a flawed concept.
Okay, yeah. We if there's anything we love on Happy Hour, it's flaws.
It's not making sense.
No,
Yeah.
exactly. We rely on this.
So we do it based on scareability and
And
believability.
believability.
Yeah.
Do you want to
Okay. No, you start.
go? Okay. Well, scareability. See, that's not even a word. That's
Scariness.
yeah, scariness. I'll say 2 out of 10
Okay.
because I've probably seen a shadow once and gone,
Mm.
"Oh, what is it? What is that?"
Was it wearing a hat though?
No, but it did have an Oreo mouth.
Oh.
So probably saw that was probably that one. What was the other one? What do we do on?
Believability.
Believability. 0.
You don't think shadows
Oh.
can steal children?
Oh, well, now you put it like that. So yeah, 0.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my scariness,
Scareability. Yeah.
scareability, will make up a new word. I feel like when you were reading it out, 5, and then you showed the picture 2.
The picture did ruin it.
Yeah.
The
I,
picture, I feel, has
But so the
ruined
picture only
story.
knocked off 3 points. Weirdly.
That's a
I
heck of a load
couldn't
of
not show you the
points.
picture, but at the same time, imagine you saw that in real life.
Yeah, if you're
Yeah.
not expecting it, we got a pre-warning. We got a lovely little
Mm.
story beforehand of Stevie saying, "Look, this is going to be funny."
Yeah.
If you just turned a corner and saw that, you'd be.
Oh, it'd be creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You say that, but any of these urban legends would be creepy if you saw them. But the idea is, how much do you believe that you would ever see them?
Okay, believability. I'm going to say 7 because
What?
don't you give me that look. Because it is believable. It's shadows, and it's apart from the shapeshifter, and we're going to skip over that bit. But the shadows with a bowler hat, yeah,
It's
why
just
not?
a creepy man in the woods,
Yeah.
really.
Firstly, how can a shadow
Definitely.
wear a hat?
On his head.
A shadow hasn't.
Where else would he wear it, you fucking idiot?
A shadow hasn't got a head. A shadow is bodiless.
What? You mean
No.
like full of body rather than...
Yeah. A shadow hasn't got parts.
Well,
Yeah,
a shadow is
because if-
whatever shape you are.
Exactly. So if you look at a shadow of
No,
yourself, you can say, "This is a shadow of my hand. It's a hand."
Yeah, try put a hat on it.
What?
On your
What?
shadow of your hand.
No, the man is wearing a hat, and then it's his shadow.
Right.
he-
It's just
Okay.
absolute waffle.
Okay.
Origins for this one. It's quite a strange one.
Hang on, wait. Where was Shadow Man at? What state was he?
No, I
It
told
wasn't
you we're not
part of
doing
the-
states until
It wasn't
next
part
time.
of those
Fucking
things.
hell.
These
So
are
you-
just stories.
So you build it up with this kind of like notion that we're going to
And
have a
then
random state.
disappoint
Yeah, and then you
No.
pull the rug.
No, because if you listen to a sentence at the start where I said we're not doing that yet, you'd know.
Yeah, I very rarely listen.
I'm getting that.
Sorry, mate.
Reddit's getting that.
become a
Don't try and
meme.
become on their side. Like
I
you
am
and the
on their side.
You and the Reddit gang are going to gang up on me.
We will.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's loads of stories behind this one. There's religions, legends, and a whole belief system around shadowy spiritual beings.
Okay.
And one of the main things behind it is actually sleep paralysis.
Oh yeah. A lot of people think. A
okay.
lot of people say they see shadows.
So it
Mhm.
says several physiological and psychological conditions can account for reported experience of shadowy shapes seeming alive. So what it's really saying is you could see a shadow and think it is a real thing.
Okay.
So like, you know, when, as you said a second ago, like you could see a shadow and go, oh,
Mm,
but like this is like someone genuinely feeling like it is going to come for them.
yeah.
So like, especially sleep paralysis, no one really describes a full image of something during sleep paralysis. They might say it like it looked a bit like an old woman, but it
Mm.
tends to be blurred and
Or maybe they see it at the corner of their eye rather than looking
Yeah,
straight at
Yeah,
it.
I had a weird experience, like with what I thought was a ghost, a couple of weeks ago when I was in the bath. That was weird.
what
So I was
happened?
in the bath, yeah, and you know we have like panel, like, so in my bathroom we live on the top floor of like a block of flats, and the bathroom's on the top. So the window's like a big slanted window with a white blind
It's a
over
skylight,
it.
isn't it?
Skylight, yeah. So I was in the bath and it was at night time and I had a headache, right? I was probably hungover. And I went in the bath and I was on my phone, but I didn't have the light on. So I was just in black, apart from just being on my phone, looking at whatever. And then but it was one of them nights where it's like a bit light outside. So it is nighttime. It's probably about 11, but it is
Yeah,
you can
it's
see
not pitch black.
you can see the room. And then I saw, like, out of the corner of my eye, and bear in mind my light is shining at it and I have a headache, so I didn't know what to believe at first. I saw like this black thing go past and I was like, what the fuck? Because I was like, it could have been a fly, but it wouldn't. It was too big, right? So I was like, what the fuck? And then I like put my phone down. I waited for a little while, and nothing happened. So I picked my phone back up again, and then it did it again, and I was like, what? And I was like, there was something in this room. Like, I keep seeing this black figure like go like that, and then maybe like 20 minutes later, I'd completely forgotten about it. My heart rate was back down to normal.
Well,
like-
hold on. You were in the bath in the pitch black. You saw twice a figure just walking past you.
No,
You didn't know what it was.
It was like really
flashing
quick.
past you, and you just stayed in the bath.
It was
with the lights.
yeah,
off.
yeah.
What? Why didn't you put the lights
I
on?
don't know. I was scared.
That would be the first
You were
thing
at your
I'd
mum and
do.
dad's. You were at your mum and dad's.
Well, I wasn't going to
Right.
protect you. You're on your own there, pal.
And then, yeah. So my heart rate had gone back down, and then I heard. I swear to God, right? But this sounds scary, but there's an explanation at the end, right?
Well,
So
no,
I-
keep it scary. This is urban legend.
Yeah.
Keep it scary.
So I went. I was like, what the fuck? And I'm shitting myself now. So I
Wait,
sat.
so you tapped back?
No, sorry. So that went. So the
Oh,
sound,
okay,
so the
right.
sound went. So yeah, so it's like 4 taps twice, yeah.
Right.
But instead of that, it sounded like a plasticky tap, like a little, more like that.
Right.
So I was like, what the hell is going on? That's well weird.
Against your plastic hand.
So and then, right? So I stood up and got the towel and put it around me, and I'm like, I actually don't know what to do right now. Is that a tap? It felt like too much of an aggressive tap to be a tap.
Yeah.
Like a leaking tap or anything. And then from the big white skylight, I see just the biggest shadow ever, and there was just a bird. There was like a bird on the thing casting a shadow. So
Oh.
it obviously kept doing something to give that black,
Oh.
and then it was pecking at something. And I was just like, oh my God, it's a fucking bird. I thought for a second it was a shadow man with an Oreo mouth.
No, it was a shadow man that had shape shifted into
Yeah,
a bird.
maybe. And let's not get it twisted, okay? I never saw the bird. I only saw the shadow of the bird. So it could have been
Oh.
the shadow bird.
The shadow bird.
That I'd hate that.
Yeah.
That sounds
Oh.
that sounds
Alfie
awful.
would hate it. Alfie actually
hates
hates birds.
birds.
Yeah. So
Oh.
we had nowhere to go. Oh, he hates birds. Oh, what is he like, eh? Right, next one, please, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna do a short one.
Yeah.
Just because I like the story. Okay, a woman was sitting on the subway late one night, and she noticed that a woman
Was
sitting.
it a foot long or 6 inch? Sorry.
Oh my God.
Banter boy's back.
I regret saying yes.
What are you
A woman was sitting on a subway one night.
For anyone who's listening, Stevie just literally just turned his back to me and directed that story directly at Fiona.
As he should.
I don't feel part of the group anymore.
Have you seen my Jack?
Okay, this is called subway stairs.
Right.
A woman was sitting on the subway, a train or a tube, late one night, and she noticed that a woman sitting across from her was staring intently at her. She pretended not to notice, but each time she glanced at the woman, the staring continued. At one of the stops, a new passenger got on and sat next to her. After a couple of minutes, he quietly told her he thought she should get off at the next stop, knowing the next stop was a busy one, and she agreed. When the next stop came up, she left the train with the man. The man said to her, "Thank God, I didn't mean to scare you, but I had to get you off that train. The woman sitting opposite you was dead, and the two men either side of you were propping her up." Story.
I love that.
Don't get it.
What?
It wasn't a hard story to understand.
Why is that an urban legend? Is she just dead girl on the train?
Because it's a story
it's a
that's
story that might not
been
be
passed around a
true.
lot, that a lot of people have said to each other.
And it's creepy.
Oh right, so
So it's a myth of like going on the subway and
yeah, but I thought urban legends then like they're birthed like so that's the origin, and then like so then for the next 14 years, every time there was a crescent moon, the dead lady would be propped up against a train.
No,
Make
you
it
don't
right
always
for
need
the
a curse
next
behind it.
however many years you said, that lady won't ever go on that subway again.
Yeah, you
Don't
don't
get
necessarily
urban
need a curse
legend.
behind it.
Oh, okay. So how did he know she was dead?
So in one of the stories I read, the guy who got on could see this bit rank, but one of them was quite dark, and it said that the guys got on the train with this dead body, and the way they propped her up to make it look like she was walking through is that they'd had something stabbed into her back, so they were carrying her on to try and move the body. And then the guy obviously saw whatever was stabbed into her back as he got on and was like, "You need to get off."
But then if you're gonna move a body, you wouldn't do it by train, would you?
But it depends where you are. Like,
You
it's
don't-
obviously a...
Don't try and make sense of these.
What?
Yeah, you don't...
You're picking all the holes in them.
That's what he's here for.
yeah, that's what I'm here for, to pick holes in it.
Mm.
Yeah, but I just because obviously I'm trying to find one of these. I want one of these urban legends to be true.
Mm-hmm.
That would be fun.
So you're very offended about the shape-shifting shadow man. That's absolutely fine. But then one that could be true, just a dead body on a train. You're like, no.
No.
No
I'm not.
way.
I think that this has an air of believability about it,
Mm.
but I'm trying to pick out some flaws where I can completely rule it out.
Yeah, so this is quite similar to, I don't know if you guys remember, I remember the story going around my school when I was younger of finding a dead dog in a suitcase on a train.
Right.
And it's a similar story where
What someone did? You know someone that did that?
yeah, so it was one of those, it was one of those stories where it was like, oh, my friend's mum did
friend
this,
of
and
a
it's like,
friend.
oh yeah, they were on a train, and then this suitcase fell off and it flew open. There was a dead dog inside it. Can you not remember
Oh,
that?
No.
I've never
So,
heard that.
so
no.
this is that kind of story where it's just like passed around. It's like, oh, my mate's mate was on a train and he just kept getting stared at by this person, and it turned out the person was dead. So it's like,
But I've experienced that. I've either accidentally stared at someone or they've accidentally stared at me because of daydreaming. But
Yeah.
I'm not dead.
I know, but
Yeah.
imagine
Dead.
one of those times they might have been.
Stevie.
That's a dark thing, though, isn't it?
How do you know? How do you know
Oh.
that? How did they find out that that person was dead then?
Well, because she
I
had
just told you.
Oh, 'cause the
stab
man.
wounds.
The man tells her to get off.
So who were the men that had her dead?
Probably the murderers, mate.
Oh, they were murderers, were they?
Well, they weren't just sitting next to her going, she'll probably deal with this.
We'll just prop the dead lady up.
That's quite.
They would have killed
believable.
her, and they're trying to get the
Transport
body
her.
around without. Maybe they don't drive. Like, there's
Right.
plenty of
I mean,
options.
if
and it's
it-
clearly in a busy city if it's a subway.
I mean, if you're going to do a murder, at least have your driver's license, surely. Do you know what I mean? If
Is
you're
that-
going to go through all of that effort, oh, what do we do with the body now, Dave? Put it in the transit. All right, you drive. Oh, I can't drive. Can you? No, I thought you could fucking drive. So you'd plan that bit before you do the murder, wouldn't
Well,
you?
maybe it's like New York where you can't really drive without being stuck in traffic all the time.
And
so
besides, if you're on a subway, you're not likely to be looking at other people because subways are in big old cities like London where no one
Yeah,
takes
you don't wanna-
notice of anyone else.
All right, scarability 3.
okay, that
But-
would be quite creepy if you were just sat on a train and someone
Mm.
gets on and goes, "You need to go. They're dead. That person's dead."
Yes. Yeah.
So you need more than 3.
So why is it
then.
only a 3 on Scary?
Oh, okay. All right. So scarability. I've got to imagine that it's
Imagine
real.
you're sat on the
Right,
train and
okay.
this woman's just staring at you.
So then every urban legend ever I've marked wrongly because shadow men. If there was actually a shadow man,
Nah, because that's scarability kind of needs to come into the realism side of it. So like scariness, if you saw a shadow man in front of you, you'd instantly then think, oh, it's not real. and you'd probably be all right.
Right. Okay. So if I saw someone dead on the train, that'd be scary. 5, and then
I'd just be a bit more scared if I saw a dead person on
I
the
love
train.
that you said, "Oh, that would be scary." 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
oh no, I was just stopped because of that noise. That
Was that like a motorbike or something?
yeah, I think so. And then believability, I'd go for 5 as well. We'll give it a pair of 5s.
Okay. Scareability for me would be quite high, maybe like a 6 or 7. Believability, oh my god, 9. Definitely. It's not a shape-shifting shadow man.
Yeah, but it's a man using a woman as a human puppet on a public train.
Absolutely.
There's some mental
believable.
people out there.
There is some mental people out
And
there.
this has freaked me out as well. Actually, yeah, because you just said, I've just been thinking about, I've done that, or I've experienced that. People stare.
What have you
What?
done?
What?
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 What happened?
What's happened?
What?
Oh, because she said I've done that. Oh, right, yeah.
No. No, I've never put it on a train. It was in a car. So,
I can drive.
so I've had it where people have been staring at me on the train.
Hmm.
So now I'm thinking, have they been dead? I didn't see them move.
Imagine that.
I got off before they did, so they could be dead. I don't know. So now
Maybe that man that I was staring at the train, and then in Spain, maybe he was a
it was
ghost.
mainly on the plane.
Maybe that was. Yeah.
Okay.
I was sat. I think I've told this story on the pod before, but I was sat opposite that couple. I was on my way to London to do Fubar Radio Show, and it was on a Friday morning, and the only seat was on a table of 4, and there was a couple, and they were arguing quite loudly. So I had my headphones on, but I turned my music off because I wanted to hear what they were saying. And she was arguing that he doesn't spend enough time with her parents and blah blah blah. And he just looked like he did not want to be there. He was quite a beefcake as well, and she was shouting at him. And they got off at Ipswich. And I was staring at them the whole way, and they kept looking at me. It was a bit uncomfortable. And then a month later, me and Fiona went to Spain, and we were going around the Sagrada Familia, which is a big
fancy
church,
Beautiful.
the massive one in Barcelona. And there was this couple in there, and I walked past them, and I just got this weird feeling. I was just like, what the fuck? Where do I know them from? And I was like, Fee, come this way. And I had to keep following them because I was like, I know them. And he kept looking at me as if like, he knew me, and then I was like,
because you were staring at
"That's
him.
the couple that were on the train to Ipswich a few weeks ago. They
That
were
is
arguing."
it's
And
a
then,
weird
so then we walked
coincidence.
past them, and they were speaking, and they were completely English, and yeah, that was them for sure.
What's the relevance of that story?
I said that maybe he was dead, and she was arguing to him.
But you heard them both talking.
Yeah, because when we saw them in the Sagrada, they were then ghosts.
What the fuck is wrong with you? How the hell did you get to that?
Can we have the next urban
Have you heard
legend,
that story
please?
before?
No, I haven't. It's
pretty-
quite weird.
Pretty cool, eh?
Well, it's just that you saw someone and then you saw them again in a different place.
But on the topic of spooky coincidences, can I tell you a coincidence that happened to me recently? I told Fiona and Alfie, and they were both blown away by it.
I'm expecting something big.
It-
Better than that.
I reckon it.
Believability 10.
Would you?
already.
No, you know this happened. You know this happened, right? And there would be a way I could fake this, but I promise you, I have not faked
Okay.
it on my nan's life, right? Do you think this is more of a bigger coincidence than the couple on the train being in the church at the same time?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Right. So there's a guy in Thetford, right, that I kind of know called Waz, yeah, because he used to be in Frank's band, and he asked me. He created a new company called Idol Tees, and he said, if I send you a tee with an idol on it, can you wear it? And I was like, yeah, I'll wear it, sure. He's like, and if you can do a story, great, but no pressure. So I was like, all right, fine. So he sent me a T-shirt with Mike Skinner on from the Streets. And a couple of weeks ago, I was just wearing it. I didn't think of taking a picture or anything. We went to Cromer, just go along the beach, get fish and chips. And I said to Fee, I was like, I could actually take a picture down here and it would look a bit nice and it would look good for the gram and I'll put it on. So I was like, where should we go? Blah, blah, blah. We debated it. And Fiona said, why didn't you go on the pier? We never go on the pier when we go to Cromer. That's the
And
only...
you first suggested take the picture on the beach.
Yeah, I was like, I should do it on the beach. Can't be bothered to walk all the way down there. But we did. And then I was on the pier and I was like, okay, which way should we go? And Fiona was like, that's probably a better backdrop. Do it here. So we're midway on the pier and we're doing it on one of the sides, on like the left side of the pier. So I take the picture, post it online. Then I get home and the guy that's made the company, right, has posted a picture of him wearing the Mike Skinner shirt on the Cromer pier. And I said to Fiona, I was like, that's well weird. Why has he copied me? Like, I don't get it. I looked and he'd posted it before me. an hour before me.
And
in
Jack
the
had not
and
seen
I
it.
swear to God, I had not seen it because I commented on it going, haha, like, what the fuck? Like, why have you done this? And he was like, mad. And so I DM'd him and I was like, did you put, because it said 1 hour ago and mine said 1 hour ago. So I was like, did you post that before me? He went, yeah, geez, I thought you copied me. I was like, I thought you copied me. The same top in the same place.
That is weird.
That's madness.
It's all the different things, like the same top. Okay, obviously because he owns the company, he sent you the top, right?
Yeah.
Fair enough. But then the same location. So you're both at Cromer and you're both on the pier as well. Because Jack originally said go do it on the beach, and I suggested, well, we'll take the picture on the pier, and then at the same time as well. So it's just really bizarre.
Yeah. Mad.
That is
Spooky coincidences. Believability, 10, because it happened. Scareability, 0. It was a Mike Skinner shirt.
So with the subway stare, annoyingly, there is no origin. I searched everything. There's so many stories. There's one story that a few people thought was true. In Italy, there was a father who died suddenly, and to avoid the extra cargo costs of taking a coffin on the train, his family dressed him up in his best clothes and sat him on a carriage supported by his 2 sons on either side.
I somewhat believe that, but I also think he would probably stink.
Did you know in the Victorian era, I'm pretty sure it was Victorian era, they used to honour the dead by taking pictures with the dead as if they were alive. So they'd dress them up, they'd prop them up in chairs, they'd do their hair and makeup and whatever, and make them look alive. But the reason you know that they're dead in the photo, because their eyes are open, they're posing, they look like they're alive. The reason you know that they're dead is because in the Victorian era, the cameras weren't fully developed as good as they are today. And the dead person, everyone else was just slightly blurry because I think maybe like the shutter speed or something, it takes a while for them to take the photo. But the dead person is in focus perfectly.
Oh.
So, obviously they didn't move. Because like, if you're alive, you move slightly, you jostle about, you twitch a bit. But the dead person's just perfectly in focus.
Oh.
That's rank.
That's kind of eerie because then they become the centre point of the video.
If you get the chance, Google some photos. It's fascinating.
Imagine people doing that now.
All right, hit us with another one.
This one doesn't involve hooks, but it sounds like it does. It's called The Tale of the Hookerman.
Right, okay.
Okay.
Long ago, when trains were still the main way of transportation in the States, an accident occurred on the train tracks of Bud Lake. We've got a place this time. Are you happy?
Yeah.
Now, these tracks, which run through Netcong, Flanders, and Bud Lake, were said to carry coal and other industrial fuel sources. One night, while repairing a railroad track... I turned into,
Fiona has this thing,
into Jonathan Ross.
Fiona has this thing where she absolutely creases at people reading words wrong or saying words wrong. Like if I'm at home and I'll say like, oh, what time are we going? But I go like, oh, what time are we going? And then I'm like, time are we going? She'll like crease like that.
She's lost it.
Yeah.
I feel like I have to be really careful there. Railroad.
Whale-woad. Maybe he meant that. Maybe the whale woed through the sea.
One night, while repairing the railroad track, one man had the extreme misfortune of getting his arm, shirt, and skin all stuck on the tracks. In this hand, he was holding a lantern that was the way to help him guide his way. And although the trains were not supposed to be running at that time of night, one of them did, and the conductor of this train could not see the man trapped and struggling on the side of the tracks. And nor could the conductor see the faint glow of his lantern. Within a matter of minutes, but what surely seemed like an hour for the trapped man, the train had passed and made its way towards the next town. But with the train went the man's hand and lantern. He died that evening from blood loss and shock. His body was found later the next day by town locals, but to the dismay of everyone, his hand and the lantern were missing. Some say that it was swept up with the force of the train, others say that animals took it as dinner, but if you stand on those tracks in the middle of the night, close to the time that it happened, you'll see a green light hanging above the tracks, bobbing up and down the same stretch of land. And that green light is no other than the man's lantern being held on too fastly by the man's hand, searching in vain for its body.
Why are you laughing?
It's funny. That's funny. Yeah, the way some of these people, the way they word it is as if it's factual. If you stand there at the right time, you'll see a light, and that light is no other than that. No, but what? Why? Why? Because you say. Now, I like that story.
Okay.
I think it's like I can imagine it being a film,
I can too.
but
A
like,
comedy.
well, yeah, there you
A
go.
woo.
See, it paints a picture. There's elements there, like you've got it's night time, like the train shouldn't have been there, but it was there, and I think it's okay. But the idea that a hand having its own kind of like, oh, I'm just going to walk about now.
Yeah, well, it's floating. It's just like it's really just the lantern, the glow of the lantern that you see. You definitely see it.
Okay, it's just a light then, isn't it? In a tunnel,
No, because
floating
this
as
is out
if-
in the open. This is a bobbing light out in the open.
but you don't really see the hand then,
No, it's
But why? Is
it's a
there just
glowing
a
yellow
light?
or green light.
Like
right?
an orb?
Yeah,
maybe?
like an orb bobbing around above the train tracks.
When it says you said at the start, like his shirt, something else,
it gets caught to the track
and his skin.
because he's there doing repairs, so he might have caught himself underneath something.
Oh right,
The word skin doesn't really need to be there. As I was reading it, I was a bit like, oh.
yeah. Oh, so he was repairing it. A train came, wasn't supposed to come.
Yeah. And he got his hand was trapped under, so he got his body away, but his hand went.
It's weird because I watched a video on YouTube not so long ago called "Ghosts of the Underground" about London Underground. Do you remember
I
watching
remember
that?
this. It's really good.
And there's a man who takes you between two specific lines in London, and he talks about a similar story to that, and about how but his one, the man died because he was repairing the track and got hit. It wasn't like his hand come off and all that. He actually died. And then a couple of he had to go down there late one night to check everything was going on, and he saw some guy and he was like, "What are you doing down here?" And apparently he just had a conversation with him. The guy was like, "I'm just down here doing repairs," and he was like, because this guy's just a TFL guy, so he's not a repair guy. Sorry, he's a TFL guy who's gone down, and he sees this repair guy, and he's like, "You doing repairs?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm just doing the line down here." He's like, I don't think it was any book to do repairs. I was like, all right, whatever, fair enough. And then he went up and told someone. The guy's on the YouTube giving the interview as well. And he told someone, and someone went, there is no one booked to do repairs. There's none. And they looked at the CCTV, and apparently he's not talking to anyone. But he's like, he was there. He was there doing the...
That's
Yeah,
creepy.
so that's weird. So that seems like the kind of like in a similar vein.
And then they go back downstairs and they can't find a trace of anyone. So then they check the CCTV, right?
Yeah.
Creepy.
Mad.
That's creepy.
It's
yeah.
weird, isn't it?
Well-
What would you do? What would you do if you spoke to someone, clear as day, you spoke to someone, and then like for some reason you watched it back? Like
Oh, you just
I don't know
here's
how
a
you'd
weird one, right?
react.
So we had Becky on last week, right? Now, how mad would it be if we just watched the footage back, Stevie, and there was no one there? Like how mad
Oh.
would that be? Like I know that's obviously inconceivable.
yeah, but it's that kind of thing where you've got proof that you were talking to someone.
Yeah.
But you
And
look
especially
back at
'cause
that
you-
proof and it's gone.
You would have both experienced it as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be insane.
All right. So imagine you went outside,
Mhm.
right? And Alfie wasn't outside to see her that day, right? And it was just me and Stevie, and we interviewed her. And then me and Stevie were like, what? Like, she's not there. What the fuck? What the fuck? And we took it around everyone, right? Would you believe, because it's physically impossible, isn't it, that could happen? Would you believe us if me and Stevie were like in tears? Like, we're fucking.
No, you're a YouTuber. I'd be.
Yeah,
Josh
it'd
Peters
be
probably
a
did it
hard
last
one to
week.
pull off.
See, that must be the shittest thing. Like, if ghosts do exist, and I firmly believe they don't, but if they do, imagine all the people that have seen them that instantly get kind of like rubbished.
Mm.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's no proof at any point of any of this,
No,
of ghosts.
no.
Yeah, weird one.
Do-do-do-do.
So,
Do-do-do-do.
believability of the Hookerman.
I mean, up until the light 7 that happened, some guy got killed, didn't know a train was coming.
So you don't think someone would see the glowing light above the tracks?
You might
That's
see a
the bit.
light, but I don't think they're connected. No.
Okay.
Scarability 7, believability 7.
Okay, that's a good one.
That's good. You got.
And you
you're
like the
impressed by that.
story, so I like that.
Mm.
I'm gonna give it right. So scareability, scariness. I get creeped out by that, especially because it's realistic. It's a train accident,
Yeah.
Mm.
and then okay, maybe the floating light is not the hand, but a floating light could happen.
Mm.
Yeah. So scareability, yeah, 7. I think
Mm.
believability. I'm gonna copy you. It's a 7.
Okay.
Good one all
7
round.
Good.
And you'll like this because there is quite a heavy origin to this.
Right.
Ooh.
So there's over 60 different locations throughout the United States where this odd phenomenon actually occurs.
Oh.
So the floating light above train tracks or
Oh,
in an area.
there must be a reason then. Right.
So they also appear on open farmland and hillsides and sometimes above water. So there's actually a green light that seems to hang over the tracks in this exact area where this story is. But it's not very scary because it's actually due to chemical deposits in the soil, either due to pollution or the natural mines that were there.
Yeah.
So because of that, people would see that green light, which is quite a weird thing because it's just literally a green light that just bounces above a track and just disappears.
Oh.
I'd like to see the lights. I'm intrigued to know what
yeah.
it actually looks like.
Yeah.
But then I think that's because we're a fan of science rather than a fan of like the
Yeah.
the
I
paranormal.
fully believe that it would have an explanation. Like
Yeah.
it's just
Well,
a
they did find an explanation. I just like the idea of thinking a bobbing light that just bobs around and then just disappears.
Yeah.
I'd like to know what it looks like from different angles and stuff. Because I'd be
Yeah.
like, is
Can
it
you go
there when
close
you're
to
looking
it?
that way?
Yeah.
Is it like a rainbow so you can only see it in the distance, or
Yeah.
can you?
And then
walk
once you're there, it's just gone.
around it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd like to check it out. But that's one of the things. If we do go to America, we'd go there. It wouldn't be a scary one at all. But it'd
No.
be cool to be like, oh fuck, the lights are there.
Yeah.
Like it's quite a cool little thing.
Yeah.
I got two more, but one of them's they're both quite short. One of them I just really like the story, but it's nice. It's not really an urban.
Let's have
I don't
a
even know if
nice
it's
one.
really an urban legend.
Okay.
Well, actually, it kind of is because it's been told a lot. But I'd like it. But we'll finish on that as a nice little happier one. Okay, so we'll do this one first. Sunbathing spiders.
Oh, intriguing.
Wait, sorry, did you say this is the nice one?
No.
Okay.
Sunbathing spiders. A young woman was sunbathing on the beach and was just about to drop off to sleep when she felt an insect running along her face and down her neck. She brushed it away and thought nothing more of it. After about a week, she noticed that what she thought was a pimple growing and growing, it was the skin that was inflamed
I already know what's
and it
gonna
looked
happen.
like a blister. Then one day, she was blow drying her hair and hit the inflamed spot with her hairdryer, and the blistered skin broke open and hundreds of tiny white baby spiders and pus came pouring out of the wound.
Oh.
It seems that while she was sunbathing, her pores had enlarged enough for the mama spider to deposit her egg
I
sac
love that you
in
called it
one.
a mama spider. A mummy spider.
They incubated under her skin until she smacked herself in the jaw with the hairdryer.
In the jaw.
Oh, where the heat was,
Oh right.
where the spot was.
Where was the spot?
Near her jaw. Okay, on her face.
Ugh.
So yeah, that's the story of the spiders. This is quite
I
This one's been used loads in films and stuff. I think there's an actual film where you see the spider start crawling over a woman's face.
I feel like that's not an urban legend. I feel that's just true.
Do you?
That can happen. Yeah, because you see videos and like you hear stories of people who have an earache or they've got a little tickle in their
And then
ear.
there's
they
a
go to the-
moth in there.
Yeah, there's a moth in there, or there's 3 spiders living in there.
Really?
Yeah, because it's a warm.
Have you never seen
dark
one of the
place.
videos of the moths in someone's ear?
No.
Oh my god, they're rank. I'm going to show you one later.
Oh, it's
They
gonna make me feel
literally
sick.
get the torch and the camera looking inside the ear, and you'll see this moth trying because they'll just hear like something in their ear, like
'Cause
really
it'll, like something will hit against their eardrum, but just like faintly.
yeah, and then they'll just feel a bit deaf. Obviously, it's blocking the ear,
And they might
and
feel a
they'll
bit
show
dizzy.
inside, and you can just see this moth trying to get out, but it's stuck inside someone's ear.
But
Like
so
it doesn't
how
want to
did
be in there.
How did it get there? And how
Yeah,
long's it
just
been in
flew
there?
in and then got stuck. So like you see people, there's videos of people pulling them out with tweezers, and like you just see them pull this whole moth out and then fly away.
Oh,
Proper rank.
that is
Mm.
rank. What did you say the name of that story was?
Sunbathing spiders.
Oh, what?
Because she's sunbathing and then it deposits the eggs
spiders.
in her cheek.
Rank. Absolutely rank.
Believability though,
10.
10.
and scareability. Imagine it actually happening.
Well,
10.
because I firmly believe that could happen. Well, I know I'm going to revise that. I'm going to say 8.
Okay.
And I'm going to say scareability. I'm going to do another pairing. I'm going to say 8 as well.
Okay.
10 and 10 for me.
Yeah.
Believability, 100% that can happen.
They're
'Cause
kind of the same things we're rating, aren't they? Because if we
Yeah,
believe
scareability
it,
and
like 10 out of 10, then
believability.
it should be 10 out of 10
Yeah,
scary.
but no, because I guess if you're not scared of spiders at all, that would happen, and you
Yeah,
go, "That's-"
believe it.
But
Yeah.
they're not killing you or anything. They're just there. They've
yeah,
been
but I
born and then they're gone.
I don't want 1,000 spiders coming out
No.
of my face.
Um,
Even if I don't, if I'm not scared of them, I don't want them in my face.
Yeah.
So you guys will be pleased to know there is an origin to this one.
Oh.
So there's no real origin,
Mm.
but the stories been like this have been going around since the 60s. A spider nest bursting from somebody's body has been used in multiple horror films and has even been circulated within the news.
Ooh.
But according to arachnid experts, I love that it says this, no self-respecting spider will lay its eggs. It literally said that's what this is an expert.
Imagine getting a spider that just does it. And you go, why have you done that, Dave? I just don't respect myself anymore. I just don't give a shit.
I love that you've just called the spider Dave. So, no self-respecting spider would lay its eggs on or in a human. And the fact that needs the story to obviously work. But there are other insects and crawly things out there that will use an unsuspecting person as a creche, but not a spider. In 1998 in Britain, a 30-year-old salesman returned from a week in Mexico and awoke to a bloody eruption on his right thigh. The doctor he consulted told him it's common to be bitten by spiders around here, and it probably laid eggs, so don't scratch it. No spiders ever came out of the wound, because how could they? That spider's respected itself. But it didn't stop a number of those who had seen the story, or its no spiders yet follow-up, remembering the reports quite differently. So there's actual reports that a doctor had said, you want to avoid that. And it was in England that happened.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that something else came out.
No, it wouldn't be possible. So he might have got bitten by a spider, but it wouldn't be eggs.
Oh, right. Oh, I hate spiders.
That's
rank,
awful.
isn't it?
Mm.
My mum got bit on the elbow one year. We think it's by a spider, but we weren't sure. She went to the doctors because it was really painful, and they didn't know what it was, but they were like, well, it's some kind of insect, a gnat, a spider, something. And it was fine. It healed up. The spot went away. And then all of a sudden it came back as a big painful lump. And she had to go on antibiotics, and she was really poorly from her elbow. And she still gets joint pain in her elbow, and we don't know what happened. So I think there's probably a not very self-respecting spider somewhere deep in her elbow joint.
Oh, God. Weird.
Rank.
Yeah, it's
I
made me
didn't
feel a
like
bit
that one.
sick, that.
Sorry.
There are insects that like burrow into the eyes of other insects and stuff.
Yeah.
Or like,
Yeah.
isn't there an insect that burrows into an eye of a fish or something and lays its eggs in the back of its eye?
Yeah.
There's all sorts, and there's like fungi that live in ants. So they turn them into like air quotes zombie ants.
Yeah.
Because it takes over their brain and
Yeah.
tells them
What to
do.
do.
And that
what to
when it
do.
grows back out afterwards,
Mhm,
that's
yeah,
rank.
it's
Yeah.
Yeah,
horrible.
and
I've seen
there's
it.
loads of bacteria that does shit like that.
Mm.
Someone's about to die in Florida, or they have died in Florida, like in this last week, because of a brain-eating amoeba virus.
What?
Oh yeah,
Is in their water.
there's a lot of, if you go swimming in a lake, you have to be really careful.
If amoeba goes up your nose and gets to your brain, it will just eat away.
There's
It finds its way.
Flesh-eating bugs.
What?
There's one that goes into the eye as well.
Oh.
It's
Come
not
on.
nice.
That's a shame.
Well, there's bugs living in your in your eyelashes right now.
Right, okay, should we do the next one?
Yes, this one I'll quickly say now. I've got no origin story, but everything I read, it kept saying that it's a supposedly true account in Sarasota in Florida.
Right.
But I just quite like the story. It's quite nice.
I'm intrigued how an urban legend can be a
So this is told quite a lot over in America.
Okay.
But like I think it's more of like a little joke story than a thing that actually happened. Okay. An elderly Florida lady did her shopping and upon returning to her car found 4 males in the act of leaving with her vehicle. She dropped her shopping bags and drew her handgun, proceeding to scream at the top of her lungs, "I have a gun and I know how to use it. Get out of the car." The 4 men didn't wait for a second. They got out and ran like mad. The lady, somewhat shaken, then proceeded to load up her shopping bags into the back of her car and got into the driver's seat. She was so shaken that she couldn't get her key into the ignition. She tried, and then she realised why. It was for the same reason that she'd also wondered why there was a football, a frisbee, and 2 12-packs of beer in the front seat. A few minutes later, she found her own car parked 4 or 5 spaces down.
No.
God.
She loaded her bags into the car and drove to the police station to report her mistake. The sergeant, who she told the story, couldn't stop laughing. He pointed to the other end of the counter where there were 4 pale men who were reporting a carjacking by a mad elderly woman described as white, less than 5 feet tall, glasses, curly white hair, and carrying a large handgun.
That's
No
class.
charges were filed.
That's what? No charge.
Yeah, no charges were
Oh,
filed.
that's brilliant.
Oh, please be true.
I really want to try and find an origin behind it. All it says is that it's apparently a true thing that happened in Florida, but I can't find proof, so I don't want to say it is.
That's
But
I
so
feel like that
good.
could be true.
Yeah, 10-10.
yeah, I was.
Yeah.
You'd be scared. It's scary.
10 for
Oh
scary.
no! If she pointed a gun at me, I'd be scared for
Yeah.
sure. It's probably the most real thing that could happen.
Imagine
on
that
Yeah.
though. You've got the same car. Imagine like we're just driving home or
Yeah.
about to drive home. Someone just aims a gun at you.
Yeah, and tells
You-
you to get out of your own car.
Yeah, because she's not saying that's my car.
Yeah,
she's
she's saying,
literally just
"Get
going, get
out."
out of the car. You
Yeah.
get out. You go to the police station.
Yeah,
And then it finds out that it was an accident.
that's
I
so
love
good.
that she drove herself to the police station though to fess up. Because like I'd be so embarrassed.
Mm.
I wouldn't know what to do. But she was like, "Well, I need to own up to it."
Yeah,
Well, it's,
Right
it's
way.
better that way, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because if not, they'd be looking for her.
that's good. I want.
I
I
love that one.
I hope that's real.
I do
I
as well.
hope that-
But I
Yeah.
thought it was nice. I thought that'd be. We haven't done any nice urban legends.
No, it is nice, but it also does raise questions over America, where an old sweet lady can get a handgun out and go, "Get out, get out." Do you know what I mean? That's America. Ban guns. Political statement to end a silly show.